Hey everybody, it is Ricardo and Shaun, and we are at Comic-Con New York. And Shaun, this is now your second Comic-Con.
This is my second Comic-Con, not quite as big as San Diego Comic-Con, but they still got some good stuff here, a lot of game booths as well.
And it's kind of cold.
It is actually literally freezing outside. I'm not quite used to it, but I'm making do, and being able to check out some cool games makes up for it.
All right, well, let's go look at the games, and there's supposedly all kinds of celebrities and weird folks roaming the floor, so let's see what we bump into.
Do that.
All right, so we told you there's all sorts of people on the show floor. This is one of them. Not quite a celebrity. Been on the show floor for a while. It's a dude in a ninja costume. So, how you doing? It's doing well. Ninjas can't talk, so it's kind of like the whole Disney thing. So yeah, you're here for the whole con. Sweet. He also has limited expressions because, you know, the costume doesn't have much give. All right. It's very affectionate. I'm going to move him off now, and we're going to go over here.
All right, so we're at the Namco booth right now. One of the cool, surprising games that I found earlier is Invincible Tiger, The Legend of Han Tao. Why don't we go have a look at it right now? One slight problem. Wolverine appears to be trying to play the game with his claw hands. That's not Wolverine. No, who is it?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Not much. This is GameSpot AU's Dan Chapini, right?
It certainly is, and this is a lot tougher than it looks. I mean, I don't have even thumb articulation going on right here.
What brings you to Comic-Con?
Well, you know, I was just kicking in New York and thought I'd drop in and check out the show, and there's a lot of games here.
Very nice. Why don't we go check out some more then? Behind us right now is a van decked out with GTA Chinatown Wars. Dan, you've seen this game. What can you tell us about it?
I have. Essentially, it's taking GTA old school. It's the first DS version. It's been on the PSP a couple of times. We had Liberty City. And this one is going a little further back. So it's a lot like GTA. It's almost entirely top-down, a little bit isometric, and you use the stylus to do a whole bunch of really unique stuff.
Sounds good. So you anticipating it quite as much as Lost in the Damned?
Not as much, but I think it'll do pretty well. I think the DS has been crying out for some mature titles, and this is actually a really good one. There's an incredibly wacky storyline to go along with it, so it should be a bit of fun.
Sounds good. Let's keep moving on.
Hey, and we are here at the EA booth at Comic-Con New York, and Shaun, we're standing in front of Battlefield 1943 Pacific, and you got a chance to play it. What's it about?
Battlefield 1943 Pacific is a downloadable game. I believe it's coming to Xbox Live Arcade, PlayStation Network, and PC. So that means it's kind of, the graphics are scaled down a little bit. It doesn't look quite as good as a retail game, but it still looks like your regular old Battlefield. And it plays like Battlefield too. You've got vehicles in there, pretty big maps, and fairly large 12-on-12 battles too.
Very nice. When's it coming out?
I believe it is coming out around the summertime.
Very cool. And what else do they have in this booth that you had a chance to check out? I see Godfather 2.
Godfather 2, a incredibly violent take on the Godfather series, even for a movie trilogy that was already pretty violent to begin with. So that one's fun. They've also got Spore Galactic Adventures, the new Spore expansion pack, and another one that I'm pretty psyched for, Dragon Age.
Very cool. And so, Godfather 2, what is your favorite, most violent method to kill someone?
Probably strolling up to a random pedestrian on the street, jamming a baseball bat into their mouth, and then slamming it on the ground, I would say.
There's a nice visual for you. Now, we're going to keep on going because let's see if we can find something even gorier. All right, so you're telling me about baseball bat executions. I'm thinking Mad World might have something in it that is possibly more violent.
You know, I was watching it earlier, and I think you might have a point. When I saw the main character kill an enemy with another dead body he just killed a second ago, I realized that is actually pretty violent.
It is, and we haven't talked about the environmental executions or the fans.
True. I saw, let's see, what was my favorite one? He took a tire, put it over some guy, threw him into a flaming oil drum, and then used that drum to kill another guy, and then threw his body into a fan. It was pretty insane.
That's pretty bad, but it's also very cool, and we have a kind of walkthrough of Mad World on the site, so check it out for more interesting ways to kill people. But we're going to keep on going. All right, so our tour is continuing. Shaun's apparently gone a little native. So he's now in a boxing ring at the Atari booth. So what are you doing here?
Oh, just planning a little change of professions. I think I'm going to take on the field of professional boxing now that I've been playing Ready to Rumble.
Very nice. And what platform is this on?
It's on the Nintendo Wii, so it's got all the motion punching that you can handle. A cross between Wii boxing and everybody's favorite boxing game from the Dreamcast, Ready to Rumble.
Very nice. You know you're a video game editor, and the transition to boxing could be a problem.
You know, it could be a little rough, but I'm ready to deal with it. I've also been playing some of Atari's other games to really psych myself up. They've got Chronicles of Riddick, Assault on Dark Athena, lots of melee combat in that game, and they've also got Ghostbusters. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to help me, but I'm pretty sure it will somehow.
Well, you do realize that you're a video game editor. We're not the most athletic sort. The transition from writing to boxing could be a problem.
You obviously haven't seen me throw a punch. Check this out. Finally, we're going to finish off today at the Axis Games booth. They're a small little publisher best known for fighting games, 2D fighting games like Guilty Gear, that series. They've also got a really cool WiiWare game coming out called Bit Trip Beat. It's sort of what would happen if you took Pong, Rez, and the Moonanite characters from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, threw them all in a blender, and served it on a sandwich of awesome. That's what this game is. It was the very first game we saw today, and it's still the favorite game that we've seen today. Tyler Weingartner loves it. He just could not get enough of it. And just to prove that, he's going to heart wipe into some footage of the game right now. About does it of a wrap-up of the show floor from the New York Comic Con. Any personal highlights for you, Ricardo?
Right now I'm going to go with the Overlord stuff. It was pretty sweet.
What did they add to it?
Well, they had Overlord on the Wii, which is sort of like the teen adventures of the Overlord. And then they had Overlord 2, which has more things that you can do to the minions and kind of picks up the story where Raising Hell left off.
Cool. Sounds good for me. I'm probably going to have to go with Bit Trip Beat, crazy Pong Rez mashup. Look good. We also saw some hilarious and terrible cosplayers, some terrible Princess Leia's, a terrible single mother Mandalorian. You can't go wrong with that. It was a fun show overall.
So far, so good.
All right, so that just about does it from New York Comic Con, but stay tuned for more videos coming up in the next few days.